To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion. Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fat Boy Cartel podcast. We're here tonight to do a after show recap of Monday Night Raw. We're going to try something new on the channel where we do recaps of the pro wrestling shows during the week and release the review the day after the shows come out to kind of get a little bit, on time review of the show, so to speak. A little bit getting the videos out there quicker. That way you guys can watch them sooner. We'll probably be doing the same thing with trailer reactions as well. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So Monday Night Raw tonight. We'll get into that here. I'm dubbing it Raw is DQ, distractions and interferences, like instead of Raw is war, like back in the day. The show started out, obviously, they touted the award-winning, critically acclaimed Thunderdome. Now, can either of you two tell me when and where this was ever award-winning and critically acclaimed? I'm just curious, because they say it every week.
Apparently when they started doing it, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, as far as award-winning, bullshit. critically acclaimed. I mean, at first everyone was excited for it, but
because it was something, because everybody had a different.
It was new.
But yeah, we had a different idea of it too. When you say Thunderdome, like if they would have done, you remember when they did the underground thing?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, yes.
But hear me out. If the Thunderdome was more like that, in the sense of, because there's no crowd, so you could have made it into this kind of underground, unsanctioned fight situation with these matches because there's no crowd, there's no rules essentially, and it probably would have been better. Well,
I mean, and I give WWE credit for trying to do something new during the pandemic. I mean, obviously you can't have fans, or you maybe can now, but at the time, obviously, doing the video boards is what the NBA was doing and some other sports, I suppose. So I'll give them credit, but at the same time, right now, I much rather prefer what NXT's doing, where they got a small amount of crowd, some video boards, but it gives it that underground feeling, that indie show type feel, and it just feels more like a wrestling show. But I know that's not what Raw is. But
NXT's always had that aesthetic, though.
True. And that's one of the reasons I like it.
It's more local crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes. But the flip side to that coin is, Raw and SmackDown aren't, built like that essentially.
Right.
They're more marketed for your mainstream audience.
Right.
Core
the sports entertainment type style. Raw started off tonight with Charlotte Flair coming down to the ring. Her and Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were in a 6-woman tag against Asuka and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke.
Why do you say her name like that?
I'm sorry, Asuka. Oh, don't worry. We'll get into what Sheamus called Umberto Carrillo later on. So I'm not the only one who does this sort of thing. Alexa Bliss interrupted this match. She's sitting there on the ramp with her play set or her swing set or whatever, her playground set with Lily the doll. And she's like, we're out there to watch someone. So I don't know who she was watching. My guess is Charlotte Flair. After the match, she was kind of staring Charlotte down a little bit. So maybe
more than likely you're going to have Charlotte win the title Sunday.
That's possible. And that's going to suck for Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. But they've... I don't know what they're doing
to appease Charlotte because the whole firing of Andrade. So,
when in reality he asked for it himself.
Right.
Yeah.
The ending of this match saw Shayna Baszler. She was doing a good job of selling it. I'm assuming it was kayfabe, and she was selling a fake knee injury, I think. But it looked awful wobbly, like her leg was giving out from underneath her. And when she was selling that, Asuka hit the Shining Wizard for the win. After the match, Charlotte laid out Asuka, and that's when Alexa and Lily on the stage laughed. They gave Lily the doll this creepy voiced-over doll laugh over the PA system, and it was something to see for sure. I wasn't a big fan of it personally, but they're trying.
Like, I'm glad I missed it.
Right,
because I missed the first 30 minutes of the show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's the Fiend now. And she's going to terrorize women's division. That's all there is to it. After this, we had Riddle backstage rolled up to the New Day on his scooter. Riddle said it was funny when Orton got hit with the tomatoes last week. Orton happened to be standing behind him when he said this, and he heard it, and he was not laughing. Orton said that, ending careers is what he finds funny. Kicking legends and things like that. After this, I really wanted Randy Orton to RKO all three of them between the New Day and Matt Riddle. So they were just doing this goopy comedy. I mean, I know it's...
That.
What's that?
Said, well, about that.
Yeah.
You kind of get your wish.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't get the third guy, but yeah, it does kind of. Well, that's a little later in the show, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, we expect that kind of comedy from the New Day, but Riddle at this point even, but I don't know. I was just ready for Orton just to lay them all out. Then we get MVP. He wants to talk business to Braun Strowman. He says that Lashley would much rather lose the title to Braun instead of Drew. Said if Drew gets so injured tonight where he can't compete at Backlash, then it could just be Braun versus Lashley. He's basically trying to strike a deal with Braun Strowman to get Braun to help him in the main event, which we'll get into that too here in a little bit as to what actually happened here. So he's basically just trying to cut a deal. Braun wasn't having it really. He was just like, I don't like you. Get out of my locker room. Then we got Damien Priest versus... they signed Damien Priest versus The Miz at Backlash. Damien Priest will be against John Morrison tonight, and if Morrison wins, Morrison gets to choose the stip for The Miz on Sunday, but if Damien Priest wins, he gets to choose the stipulation. John Morrison, Johnny Drip Drip, said he was the most moist sea superstar.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. So there's that. Then after this, we see Jinder Mahal backstage. He's back.
What the shit?
Yep.
And he's got two henchmen, which I don't know who these two guys are. I don't know if they've been in NXT.
They're NXT guys.
Okay, but he called them Veer and Shanky. So I guess they're just...
do what now?
He said their names were Veer and Shanky.
Fucking Christ.
I mean, this is the same company who did T-Bar and Mace. So I'm not...
Veer,
Veer, I'm guessing. And Shanky, Shanky.
Shanky, as in I shank you in the shower.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
Fuck.
Then they all three come out to the ring, and Jinder Mahal versus Jeff Hardy. This was pretty much a squash match. Jeff Hardy got very little offense in this. And
they've been running this match on main event.
Oh, have they? Jeff Hardy's career is just about done with WWE. I believe.
He needs to leave and go team up with Brother Matt.
It was really not doing a whole lot in AEW anyway.
No, I think it's that point to where they'll just call it off.
Maybe.
I forget who the fuck said it, but anyway, with if you think about it, who was the most popular out of the Hardys?
Well, for a time it was Jeff, but now I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
Matt has a mind for wrestling.
Agreed.
Business wise, Jeff was always the star.
He was definitely the high flyest of the two.
But
anyway,
in all honesty, with the connections that they have and the knowledge that they have, they could probably just open their own wrestling school if they wanted to in North Carolina. I think what's going to end up happening is, Jeff will probably retire from wrestling altogether, and Matt will soon follow. I don't think the Hardys are going to continuously.
No, I think at best Jeff Hardy might join Matt Hardy's brand on AEW, be one of his crew, but that would be about it. I don't think they're going to be like, tag team champions or anything like that for sure. But
and again, I don't. AEW is slowly turning into what WCW was if they keep this up. You can't keep signing all these ex-WWE guys. And it's the same thing when TNA did the same thing. They would sign all these fucking old guys. For what?
Yeah. It just depends on how they use them, I think. But yeah, you're not wrong. They're signing a lot of talent and doing sort of some of the same stuff. I'm not going to lie. After this, we had Jinder Mahal won clean with the Colossus, by the way. Yeah, it's just to establish Jinder Mahal's.
But again, Jeff's not a guy you're going to push.
No, and I totally get him jobbing this for sure. I mean,
Jeff he's like that gatekeeper. I mean, his job, just like Randy Orton's job a lot of time, is to get somebody else over. It's not about him winning.
No.
It's no point when you've done everything. You've held every title. There's no point in you doing that again.
And they were definitely touting the fact that Jinder Mahal was a former WWE champion. And so they were. I don't know if they're going to plan. I've been hearing rumors that they may do Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre this summer for the title. So I don't know. We'll see. After this, we had Elias and Riker with a basket of tomatoes backstage when AJ and Omos walked up and pointed out how stupid the tomato thing is. Omos took a tomato and crushed it and said that'll be their opponents later tonight. Next, because the next match was RK Bro and New Day versus Elias and Riker and AJ and Omos. They're still doing the dang CGI birds out of freaking Riddle's feet, which it's like, at some point,
they're gonna have to stop that soon.
Yeah, you would think they're about a month overdue on that, to be honest. The entrances for this match felt like it took an hour because they had commercials interspliced in between the participants, and of course they had 4 teams, and then I believe even Randy Orton and Riddle came down separately. So it's like, get to the match already. The match ended with RKO on Elias for the win after the New Day distracted Almost, who looked very out of place here. He didn't know what he was doing. Looked like, but they had
he had no idea.
Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't look like he didn't know where his spot was. And AJ was on the outside line on his back, and the New Day grabbed both of his legs and started spinning him around like a top when he was laying on his back, and it got almost to the outside. And that's when RKO struck on Elias. After the match, Orton RKO'd the New Day after just for no reason. I guess just because the earlier segment when they were making fun of with the tomato stuff. That was mostly Riddle making fun of it.
RKO.
Yeah, so Riddle then yelled at Randy Orton and said, "How are we ever going to have friends if you keep doing this?" So I thought that was kind of funny. But and it was kind of funny too, because when Randy Orton was entering the ring and he was doing his signature pose, Riddle was standing behind him on the mat doing the same thing, so he's definitely, marking out for Randy Orton here.
Like you said earlier, Eric, with like Jeff, or no, it's Brandon. Like Jeff, Randy, putting over the younger guys.
Yeah.
I think that's why they've teamed up Riddle with Orton.
Yeah, to give Riddle
the rub.
Yeah. And not necessarily the rub. It's not necessarily the rub. It's more or less he's like a mentor in this situation. Kind of help.
And I think it's backfiring.
Yeah, because he RKO'd the New Day.
It's not because of Riddle. It's not because of Riddle.
It's not because of Riddle or Orton. It's just
the direction they're going makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they're still trying to keep Riddle as a comedy act.
It's eventually, like we've always said, it's going to be RKO on Riddle, and then Riddle probably will get the win over Randy Orton. He already beat him once anay.
That's how they got teamed up.
Yeah, which is odd.
Talking amongst ourselves real quick. I got some kid situations.
All right, that's cool. We'll move on to the next thing here. Charlotte met with Sonya Deville earlier backstage. Sonya set up Asuka versus Rhea Ripley tonight, despite the fact that Asuka had already wrestled earlier.
Asuka,
sorry. I'll get it eventually. But Charlotte, to me, is clearly pulling the strings with Sonya Deville here. I mean, I think I mentioned that last week.
Yeah, Charlotte is just being Charlotte at this point.
I mean, I don't know.
Just use her name as a verb. She's Charlotting.
I mean, I guess because she's a Flair, but to me, it's like, what do you have on Sonya to get her to do all? Now, maybe Sonya just likes Charlotte. I don't know, but for whatever reason, she's definitely getting her way.
I'm tired of seeing Charlotte.
Yeah, I think we all are, and it's. I would have really hated if they take the title off Rhea Ripley this soon, but
they're going to.
They very well could. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. You're probably right.
Man, ask yourself this question, Eric. When's the last time Charlotte held the title? How long's it been?
Oh, sorry about that.
Late last year, I'm guessing, because I know they were tag champ. She was tag champions earlier this year.
I'm not talking about tag champions.
Yeah.
I'm talking about singles. When's the last time she had it?
It has been a bit.
So whether we all like it or not, I guess Charlotte's due for a fucking title round.
Yeah.
Why though?
To me, as long as it's longer than a week,
that's still the ultimate question. But whether we like it or not, Vince is probably well, Charlotte hasn't had the title in a while. Let's put it back on her.
And that's the thing, though. But it's not really that. Look, you get the vocal minority who don't like Charlotte, but you watch all these other wrestlings. In their mind, she's the one because she's still the best female wrestler.
Yeah. I mean,
so they're gonna tout that no matter what. Like, so as much as you can sit here and complain about it, it doesn't really fucking matter.
She's a Flair.
At the end of the day, they're
Oh, and
going.
trust me, I get that, but
Yeah,
I'm still
like-
gonna fucking complain.
Yeah. I just don't want to see them ruin Ripley. Even though we'll get into a little bit of Rhea Ripley here in a little bit, I think they've already kind of killed her. But anyway, when
they
they set
definitely
up Asuka and Rhea, it's another WrestleMania rematch tonight. We've already got another one in the main event, so again, rematches,
Like, what, the third time since Mania that these two faced each other?
something like that.
But they haven't, besides WrestleMania, they haven't really had a proper one because, again, in the back of
No,
everybody,
because Shirley keeps fucking
Exactly.
interfering and shit.
so it's like,
Which she does again tonight a little bit.
yeah. So you're not gonna get that.
Rinse,
Like,
repeat, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then we had Bobby Lashley backstage says he'll beat Drew again. MVP then says he does not comment on business negotiations, referring to the Braun encounter he had earlier where he was trying to strike a deal with him. Then we got Sheamus coming out. He had a match with Humberto Carrillo. Another match I think we've seen maybe even last week. And I know Mansoor was involved, but I can't remember if it was
either last
I
week or
don't
the
with-
week before that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was saying, but it wasn't really a match, was it?
not
He
last
just
week,
beat-
but the week before he did kind of just beat him
just
before the
beat-
match. But yeah, even so, Sheamus got on the mic and said he's the baddest fella, and he would beat Humberto Carrillo. That's what he called him, Carrillo.
Christ.
And he'd already beat him before, I think he said. Said he won't do what past U.S. champions did with the U.S. Open Challenge and just give title matches, which, that's smart. Nothing wrong with that. Logically,
Fair enough.
because he's
Fair
a
enough.
heel, so you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
expect him
he's not going to
do
beat John
anything
Cena. Yeah.
a noble way. No, because again, John Cena was a face, and it was noble of him to do so.
Yeah.
Call it the same thing, but then just be a dick about it, and it works. So yeah.
This match came to an abrupt halt when the referees had to stop the match because Humberto Carrillo tried to do a sunset flip over the top rope to power bomb Sheamus on the outside or whatever. And when he went over Sheamus fell directly on Humberto, did not take the bump properly from what I could tell. It looked like Sheamus' fault, but I don't know who was at fault here, to be honest with you. But it looked like legitimately Sheamus' entire body weight might have landed on Carrillo's knee. I hope he don't have a serious injury here, but the ref, he flat out stopped it right then and there.
Did they not do that? I was like half paying attention at that
Well,
point.
and
It seemed like a brutal match at points, but I didn't know if it was a 10 count or if they just
no, it was a
threw
botched
the X
spot.
immediately.
I don't know if they threw the X, but they definitely stopped the match, and Humberto was laying there stiff as a board, flat backed. So I hope he's okay.
On the outside,
Yeah, on the outside,
Yeah,
on the ground. Yeah.
There's a couple spots Humberto did went from ring to outside.
I know a lot of people on Twitter were blaming Sheamus, but again, I don't know exactly who was at fault, but Sheamus did fall directly on Humberto. Maybe he should have fell backward more. I don't know who controls that spot.
hard. That's
I mean,
a hard
It's a-
spot
yeah.
to
you-
call. You expect a man Sheamus's height and size to just take a flat back bump from the apron on a power bomb?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
I don't
Because there's so much that could have went wrong. Sheamus could have landed on his fucking neck and broke it.
Yeah, it could.
And he's already have neck issues.
Yeah,
And
so
maybe
like,
he's trying to protect
that-
himself.
So I don't
yeah,
know
and it was
why
just-
any
yeah.
of them would let's do this spot.
Mhm.
Yeah, it could be one of those things where it was just a freak fucking accident.
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
things
I mean,
happen in
when you
wrestling.
take
unfortunately.
risks-
hell, for all we know,
Yeah.
too, this could be storyline, and he wasn't really fucking hurt.
It didn't look
Hey,
like
we
it, but if
take
it is, good job on them because I bought it. I'll tell you that right now. It looked pretty rough. After
It could be legit. I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
but you got to think about that on so many other levels too. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good way to fuck up not only Humberto but also fucking Sheamus.
Interested by his
Yeah,
absence,
I mean,
though.
with-
All the way around. To be honest,
As
with
we
you.
all know, with wrestling, there's risks.
Yeah. Like I said, it could have been one of those just freak fucking accidents too.
Yeah. Interested by
Could've
his
done
absence,
everything.
though. Mansoor was not to be seen on this show after his involvement with Sheamus last week, so that's kind of interesting. After this, we had a Lucha House Party video package. It felt very NXT to me. They look like a
Yeah.
legit tag team. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good video package showing some of their time in NXT. It was
Who
really
was it? All three of them, or just two
no,
of them?
because
No,
Kalisto's no
Kalisto's
longer with the
out.
company.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's say Dorado and whoever the other.
and Grand
Grand
Metal.
Metalik. But yeah, I like what they did here with the video package. Now, I'm still not sold on the gimmick, the way they played the Lucha House Party.
Don't fucking matter anyway because their tag team division is ass right now.
They won last week too. I can't remember who they beat, but yeah, they got a win last week. So maybe they're doing something with Lucha House Party. We'll see what they do. Then we had a match that I'm like, okay, you had a breakup last week, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, not really any build outside of the breakup. We got Cedric Alexander versus Shelton Benjamin right here on Raw. No build, no advertisement, no nothing. And Shelton Benjamin wins clean, not Cedric.
Yep.
I don't know.
Was thoroughly confused. So I was like, why the fuck are we having Shelton win this?
Now, granted, Cedric Alexander was showboating a little bit, and Shelton took advantage. So I guess you could play and continue this and say he wasn't taking Shelton seriously. You could do that whole thing.
Yeah, because he started to do that towards the end of their run with the tag titles too.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm just like, really, you clearly look like you were going to set up Cedric for something more, and then all of a sudden you beat Cedric the following week. It was very odd. After this, we got Angel Garza backstage doing a photo shoot with the rose that he put up Drew Gulak's rear end last week. Gulak showed up and asked him if he thinks this is funny, and Garza just kind of walked away. So I guess that's got to continue. Then we get Asuka. Did I say it right? All right. Asuka and Rhea had their WrestleMania rematch. Charlotte interrupted the match with the music distraction on the ramp like we all despise.
I still don't get that shit. Like
midway through the match, I'm sitting kind of. I got one eye on my computer screen, one on my iPad watching the show. I got the volume up a little bit, and I was like, okay, Rhea and Oscar in a match. Next thing I fucking hear is Charlotte's music. I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. And Lexa did it earlier during the 6-woman tag too. So it's just kind of a thing that they do. I mean, I would love to just see somebody walk out on the ramp, no music, and just stand there and stare.
Why do you have to have music?
I don't know, because it tells. I mean, you get the more genuine reaction, I think, when they're like, "Who's on the stage?" Yeah. When the crowd doesn't know because the music hits, who it is. So
exactly,
I don't understand this with like face wrestlers. So like when the music hits, you stop everything you're doing.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into that because Rhea immediately got distracted, and Asuka took advantage and took control of the match at this point. Which again, she's playing the dumb babyface role, but she was a heel at Mania, so I don't know what Rhea is. She's kind of a tweeter, but
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't know who's heel and face sometimes.
I heard somewhere that I guess. I don't know if it was Rhea specifically or they're just having everyone do it, but I guess they're having them run through acting classes.
Oh, goodness. It's not taken.
And at that point, it's like...
Are these really? The same acting classes that those soap opera writers have their actors go through? Because some of them soap operas are awful.
I was going to say, like, I think it was the Monday after Mania that they had Rhea cut a promo, and like I think you said that episode or the full podcast, like, it looked like Rhea was reading off a teleprompter.
Mm-hmm. She wasn't looking at the camera and stuff.
So, we doing amateur acting classes to where you're taught to stare directly at what you're reading?
Yeah.
I guess.
Charlotte then joined the commentary booth after the commercial break, where Rhea got distracted again multiple times by Charlotte just from sitting there, and Charlotte was taunting Asuka.
Yeah, at this point, I tuned out for a bit.
Yeah, but
I can't stand.
But somehow, at least they were smart enough to give Rhea the win, so they did not pin the champion. But it's not any better that you pin one of the two number one contenders for the triple threat tag next week, which she pinned Asuka. So it's like, is it too much to ask for a company to keep all the challengers and the champion strong going into the title match? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, like my thing is like, why have your champion and one of the other two number one contenders have a match on the go home show?
Yeah. I mean, especially a match we already seen 3-4 weeks ago.
And the same goes with the Bobby and Drew tonight, and then what was it, Bobby Braun last week?
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the go home show last week, but still, why?
Because it's not all three; it's only two out of the match, so it's not technically ruined. But it's not good.
That's irrelevant.
I agree.
You're still giving away a portion of a match.
Yeah.
On
still
free television.
Beating one of your number one contenders here. There's plenty of other guys you could have used in that.
Yeah. I mean, you can still have Charlotte and Asuka outside the ring, but Rhea defeats somebody in the ring and she's gloating to the two contenders. That's the way I'd rather do it. I mean,
exactly.
That's just off the top of my head.
Is that not how they did it in the past?
Yeah.
They leading up to a pay-per-view, they wouldn't let the two.
No,
are,
yeah, and then you could
they
have,
wouldn't let him in the ring at the same time.
or even if that's what you wanted, that screen of or that shot of these guys all in there, then you could have them argue, get in the ring.
Well,
No being thrown, but then just screaming at each other, then off air. I mean, you could have done the same thing in with the men.
well, and here's one
Um,
thing. Again, I don't mean to praise AEW too much, but one of the things I do think they do well, and even they do it on Elevation and stuff like this too. The use of developmental talent to where, or I don't know if you want to say jobbers, but at the same time, you take a champion or a contender, put them in these matches. I know to the crowd it's boring sometimes because you know who's going to win. It's predictable. But from a booking standpoint, to me, you're keeping the contenders and the champion strong, and you don't have to put two marquee names in the ring all the time and do these stupid distraction or interference finishes so no one gets over. At least if you put in somebody in there, that they'll at least get a chance to rise up in the ranks and things like that. It makes more sense. But
and again, even if you look at it from a business standpoint, it's like, why now? I've seen Bobby and Braun and Bobby and Drew. Why do I want to watch the pay-per-view?
yeah.
You're
you could have,
leaving money on the table when you can just keep them apart.
yeah,
Maybe
have-
do what you do with Charlotte. Have them come out,
Get in each other's face.
stand up the ramp, but keep them apart, and then we get to see them finally go at each other
It
on the pay-per-view.
builds the anticipation, and that's what we want.
yeah, you
Exactly,
could've-
that's what they
you
lack.
could've done- you had Mason T-Bar there, so why not have Mace go against Braun, T-Bar go against,
Yeah, sure.
and
they were not on this show
Drew.
either, oddly enough.
But I know, but you could have booked this, right?
Yeah, you could.
And then give Bobby the night off. Have Bobby out there for both of those matches.
Yeah, just watching his contenders, just watch his challengers, just scout them.
And then, have that thing at the end where, they're just trash talking one another. When you have all three men, and hell, you don't even have to have them all come down to the ring. Have, say Bobby's out there for Drew's match,
Mhm.
and then before it goes off air, On's music hits. He's just standing at the top of the ramp. Like, everybody's jaw jacking back and forth. That's all you got to do, and then fade to black and roll credits.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, fuck, even the contract signings, I'm starting to miss.
Yeah. Well, at
Despite
least they have taken a bit of a
knowing-
break. Yeah.
At least, despite knowing, like, hey, there's a contract signing, someone's going to the damn table.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing you can
Like,
do without getting
I'm
physical.
actually starting to miss that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an overran trope they did forever.
But at least to their credit, they have taken a break from that. I'll give them that. Next, we had Drew McIntyre backstage. He said if Braun gets it his way, he's going to Claymore both he and Lashley. Blah, 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 blah. Then we had Morrison versus Damien Priest. Damien Priest wins. Morrison is not doing well lately with The Miz, and he cost Miz this stipulation here. I think a breakup between The Miz and Morrison is definitely on the horizon.
Oh man, you're gonna get Johnny Drip solo, bro.
Then you know what? They'll probably still treat him like hot garbage and a goof, but I welcome the singles run, absolutely. But
he shouldn't have came back.
Isn't he the one who's? I thought someone said he's married to Taya Valkyrie, Frankie Monet. Is that true?
Yeah.
Why don't you? I mean, I know she's in NXT, but why not pair those two up and just?
Send him to NXT.
Or yeah, that'd be fine too. I'd be okay with that. He'd be a lot better than NXT, guaranteed. So. Anyway, I'd be down for that. After the break, Damien said he announced a stipulation to Adam Pearce. He said he wants Miz in a lumberjack match this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. So I guess that's the thing. He says it's so Miz
Damn, I haven't seen a solid ass lumberjack match in a minute though.
He said it's to keep Miz from running away. Like that's going to stop him.
No, because you'll get all the heels on one side.
Yeah.
If you do it right, get all the heels on one side and all the faces on the other.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see what they do, but I'm not too. I mean, I'm glad to see maybe something a little different, but I just know how WWE is going to book that, and it's not going to be any better than any other time they've done it. Main event saw.
But it should be solid in ring, though.
Yeah, I can see that. Main event saw Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, another WrestleMania rematch. The match physical, but again ended with interference from Braun Strowman as he destroyed Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, putting Bobby Lashley through the barricade. And then he power slammed Drew, and that's how the show went off the air. Braun strong. So Braun is not winning this title on Sunday.
Here's the thing.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate for a second. Now, I know what I said earlier about doing it this way. But in this situation too, you have Braun. You make him look super strong in the sense of where he comes out and lays out everybody. So it's supposed to give you that
Or you could say as a
seed
monster.
of doubt. Yeah, that seed of doubt that he could pull this off. I mean, he just destroyed two of the top guys here in one foul swoop. So I get that to an extent.
Agreed.
But if you already fucking did that once tonight, there's no sense of doing it twice. Now, I say that to say this. All of them do it. Every wrestling company does that same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you'll have the same thing happen 2 or 3 times in one fucking show. I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
And sometimes it telegraphs the winner of the pay-per-view, but it don't always.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it don't always, but I think in this case, I think we could all safely assume Braun Strowman's not winning this title. It'll be Bobby or Drew, but I still don't think you take it off Bobby right now. I think he's just doing a great job with the role he's been given, especially with MVP as his mouthpiece. And Bobby doesn't need to speak much, but
here's the thing. I mean, that's just, it's going to sound fucked up when I say it, but I don't mean it like this, okay? It's the black version of Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Right.
But realistically,
hey man, don't fix what's not broken.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That combination of a thing,
and that's exactly what Paul's doing with Roman now. He's doing the same thing he did with Brock. So you know.
So, but here's the thing,
though. Broke, don't fix it.
You do not have anyone else to put in that position because the whole time you haven't made anyone else to put in that position.
Right.
So you're literally stuck between these 3 guys right now.
Right.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
think about the Attitude Era. Same situation. You had 3 guys. And those 3 guys were always your top 3 guys.
You
Rock, Stone Cold, or Triple H.
After Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels were still around at times. Maybe not. Yeah. I mean,
you had Mankind back
Kane. Yeah, Dude Love, Mankind, Mick, Cactus Jack. I mean, you could go the whole gamut there.
It was a rotation of the same 3 guys for a while.
True, but they also had guys they spliced in between at times.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But yes, in between that you knew, all right, this ain't going.
Which is what they're going to do with Jinder Mahal. I promise you, this summer probably.
Oh yeah.
And maybe Riddle, but they already beat Riddle, so
you have to start doing something to where you're starting to plant this seed of doubt that there's other people other than these 3 right now.
Right.
And they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They haven't done that.
In no way, shape, or form.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even your tag division is a fucking mess.
Right.
It's non-existent.
And it sucks because...
And they broke up a good tag team last week.
That's the thing. You have so many guys who'd be great as these tag situations. You just got back to Viking Raiders.
Where were they the last 2-3 weeks?
Of Lucha Party. Or Lucha House. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You still have the fucking New Day. You have, if you decided to do anything, and I think if you would have done it the right way, and if you would have had Randy Orton give or psychologically break down Riddle and made him into a heel, RK Bro could have been the next rated RKO.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it could have been something nice.
And if it's
again, when you break up tag teams like Cedric and Shelton,
that was crazy.
But, and I'm sorry, you keep Elias and Jackson Riker, whatever the fuck is it.
Yeah.
You keep them together, but you break up Cedric and Shelton. Like, why? They broke up what? Heavy Machinery's been broken up.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yet you keep Dolphin.
Hold on,
Robert Roode.
I enjoy. I was about to call that man Charlie Haas.
Chad Gable and Otis.
Yes, I like Chad Gable and Otis. I do.
I just wish Tucker was involved too. Why can't you make it a trio?
Yeah.
I mean,
the same thing when they
I think Tucker got released now, but he's no longer with the company.
Tucker's
on now.
But at the time, why couldn't you?
Tucker's out, and he seems to be happy about it too. So.
Well, good for him. That's all that matters.
I mean, let's be honest. Once Otis kind of took off, Tucker was going to go.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That was going to happen.
Yeah. Otis was your Michaels, and Tucker got.
Well,
he got the Jannetty treatment.
Yeah. To end the show, we're going a little long. We probably won't go this long on all of our wrestling recaps every day after the shows. But just to end the show, thumbs up, thumbs down for WWE Raw tonight.
There were moments.
I'm not feeling it. I don't know. That's just me. Raw's not been good to me lately, but
It's been good for a while though.
yeah. But hey,
Yeah.
I do enjoy still reviewing it with everybody, so I hope we continue to do that.
I mean, I enjoy Lashley.
Yeah. Lashley's good, and RK Bro
And
at
Drew.
times.
Hold on, the timeout. And they have talent.
They do.
Talent is what makes it good. It's just the convoluted ass story.
And to be
They
honest,
have talent. They have more talent than what they know to fucking do with, and that's clear in how
And
they
that's
do
the
the
problem.
shows.
That's the problem.
And to be honest,
That's-
you get a
it's
crowd
clear
back.
now.
A lot of this will probably be better. Some of it will be, though. Some crowds will crap on the bad.
I mean-
Like RK Bro might be fun with a crowd. We'll see.
Yeah, like I said, if they were to do something like that, where they had Randy just whittle down Riddle and turned him into a heel, I think that could have been something good.
Right.
Along the same line, you
who's
remember when?
Who's to say what Orton did tonight may be the seed for that?
Yeah.
Because Riddle sees that, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's true. And if that's
But
the case, we'll see where that goes.
They keep winning, so Riddle's like, hey, maybe, well, like he did with the Orton's pose.
Yeah.
They're already kind of planting the seeds on that. Of Matt is going to imitate Randy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, at least in my mind, how I would do it is each week or every so often you have them on there is to have Riddle just slowly becoming essentially an Orton clone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, all in all.
No, go ahead. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah. We got other shows to do, but we'll definitely come back to this probably next week. And we'll do our rapid fire recaps probably still on our full podcast. I'll be releasing on Sundays now, so definitely check that out. But yeah, for me, there was some highs on the show, a lot of lows, but there's a few good things, and I just hope WWE can start to improve as an all-around show. But that's asking a lot, I think, nowadays. But what do you guys think? Did you like Monday Night Raw? Did you not? Did you think it was hot garbage, or do you think it was a really good show? Let us know. Comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications when we put up new content on our channel. And until our next video, guys, take care.
Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I can jump and roll. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.